11th episode of the Catenaccio Podcast. Not live, but all here on the Radio Rossonera Spreaker, Spotify, and whatever you want. And obviously, we are not just on someone else's channel. We got our own channel as well. We got our little YouTube channel that you can find. Just look up the Catenaccio Podcast, and you'll see it. It's got a little logo there. So, as I said before, we'll thank Radio Rossonera for allowing us to be on their platform. And most of all, we got to thank you guys for giving us some incredible numbers. We got 120, 150 plus views on most of our episodes. It's absolutely incredible. Thank you for the support. And also, we got some messages also to read through from our listeners. So, let's get going. I've got to introduce the panel. We're going to have a bit of a quick one today, but I'm going to introduce the panel for today. We don't have our, we could say, resident clown, Jonathan Kunze-Koncevitz. He is away because he's got exams and stuff, but that is the beauty of a Catenaccio podcast, and nothing ever goes to plan. So, first off, next to me, my fellow AC Milan fan. You can hear from our voices that we are not as happy as some people will be on this podcast. Luca Hofmeister. What's up, Luca?
Good evening.
Jesus.
No, I'm just joking. I come to you in a very bad mood.
So I've had my wisdom tooth removed yesterday, and it wasn't the most painful thing this week. Luca, how you feeling?
I had my dignity removed on
jeez.
was it on Saturday?
Yeah. By the way, you will be hearing Luca and I's voices very soon on some podcasts on AC Milan Legends or Radio Rossonera Spreaker, which we will link in a bit. So look out for that. And then next off is a man who's got a actually, let's introduce him for last. But then the next one is another man who's quite sad. He's not in the greatest of moods. His name is Ricardo San Pietro. He's our resident Juventus fan, and our newest acquisition, but we could say one of our best transfers. Ricky, what's up? How you feeling?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Tough week, but we're gonna talk about it later.
We gotta keep on moving.
Yeah, let's keep on going.
I think that's all of our speakers for today. There's no one else I need to introduce. Oh wait, I actually have to. The last speaker, as always, is our resident Inter Milan fan. He's got a big smile from one ear to the other. He's still in his little cave in whatever God lost country.
New cave.
He's in a new cave, and he's got his new third Inter Milan kit on. He hasn't washed it. He's wearing it since the last episode, so I can smell him from here. But Emiliano, what's up? How are you feeling, buddy?
The only winner this week, so can't be in a bad mood. Let's have a good episode.
Let's have a good episode, and hopefully it seasons out. All right. Ladies and gents, we've had quite an interesting match day. Some really interesting things have happened. I'll just go quickly through results. As always, I'll introduce how the episode works. We're going to go through the match day. We're going to have a bit of a discussion. Obviously, leave your comments below telling us what you think. We received one comment about someone's opinion being trash, and we're going to discuss about that. Then we're going to move on to talk about the tables and important events that have happened in the table. Then we're going to move on to the team of the week, which we're going to make and you guys can comment on. And then we're going to finish off with our classic predictions, looking at our predictions from last week, looking at our predictions, what we're going to say for next week, and looking at the table. I'm going to say it now. I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, but my prediction has been absolutely trash. Ricky has now confirmed, even though he's the newcomer, that it's not just a case of beginner's luck. He's actually
obviously you had to get someone which was very good in the podcast. So here I am.
Otherwise, we would have fired him if he hadn't kept getting 5 in the predictions. We would have just fired him after 3.
Yeah. I really don't like Ricky. I thought it was obvious by now, but now it's official. All right, match day 22 results. First match we're going to look at is Bologna against Benevento, played in a very, very, very snowy football field. It was quite funny, actually. It looked like a FIFA game, but pretty good game. Viola on the score sheet, and then the first goal for Bologna.
Sansone.
Scored by Sansone, who's
after
back
3 minutes, I think.
Yeah, after 3 minutes. And then Benevento scoring with a back heel from their star I think who's now going to be our star player, Viola. I think the reintroduction of Viola into the Benevento team, I think will confirm what we were thinking about Benevento, i.e. a team that will easily
I see also Luca happy because Viola was both for us, in the fantasy football.
Nicolas Viola fan club over here. Well,
yeah,
I can only be happy to a certain extent because even though he scored, I keep losing. So,
oh,
yeah,
I'm playing against you this week, Luca. I'm against you this week.
Enjoy the win.
Shut up. Anyway, by the way, Luca had promised us that he was gonna, if Viola gets 10 goals this year, he's gonna get a face tattoo just like him. Yep. That's that was literally word for word what he said. Man, Torino Genoa, can we say boring? Yeah, quite boring.
Yeah, boring.
No draw. Was expecting a bit more, but two teams that really canceled out each other. I think it was going to be it was predicted to be the most interesting game of weekend because it was two of the most not good but informed teams, like two teams that were not doing very well but that have recently come back to a state of good form. Genoa with Ballardini, Torino with Nicola. Yeah, it was a pretty boring game. Then the next one, I'd like Ricky to talk to us about this, but at Napoli-Juventus, the arch rivalry for the ages. Napoli was predicted to do very badly because of all its injuries. Actually, for next week, I think most of
Petagna just got injured.
Yeah, but
they have
injured.
Yeah, currently they have 8 players. 8 players
out.
Also.
So next week, Napoli are in a really bad state. But let's talk about this week. Ricky, what happened? How was the game?
I said it last time. Napoli-Juve, it's a game which is independent from the current situation of the teams. Obviously, you would say that going into that match, Juve was much more, let's say, prepared. Napoli just lost against Genoa. Juve was coming from positive results. Obviously, in the Coppa Italia, we managed to reach the final the week before, winning against Roma. But yeah, I said that Napoli-Juve is a different game. Like it will be next week, Milan-Inter. I know you guys are pretty tense for that.
No.
And yeah, I mean, the thing that upsets me is that also in this case, we can argue it happened similar in the Supercoppa final. It was a single episode, which basically put the game in the direction
penalty,
of
yes or
no? 3 years ago, before VAR, or like 2 years ago, never. Now I have to say yes, because like we know that with VAR, with the VAR, it's always penalties. All those you can't play. Like there was a Napoli Juve of when Cavani was playing at Napoli, and there are some famous frames of the match of Cavani and Chiellini beating each other. You see Chiellini first on Cavani and then Cavani on Chiellini. Episodes that last week were given as a penalty. And so it's the same, with VAR today, those type of contacts have to totally be avoided. And so Chiellini was quite, and I have to say that he was coming from pretty good matches. So I was expecting him to show up once again, but it's maybe also in his style of play, but let's say it's a new kind of football. And yeah, it was a single episode because I don't think Napoli played well. We played better. Then I don't want to be talking too much as a fan and the loss. I'm trying to be objective, but I think that we definitely played better, had numerous chances. There was one I think at the start of the second half, Morata bringing the ball. He was in front of the goal. Chiesa was free on the left, an easy pass, and he would have been one-on-one with Meret, and he just went bumping into Bakayoko.
Ronaldo missed an easy chance as well. He was in front of Meret, wasn't able to kind of get it into a corner, just passed it right to him.
Yeah, and other than that, did Napoli shoot many times? Was Szczesny, And that's it, basically. A single episode, and it went like that. I just want to say a last thing. I know I've talked a bit about this match, but once again, a single episode. We can argue also against Roma. It was a single episode. Ronaldo's amazing goal. And let's hope now we get back on track also, because there's a Champions League.
Ricky, apart from, I'll say this thing, interesting fact, let's say Insigne scored his 100th goal, I think, for Napoli. It was a special moment because it looked like he was saving it just for that special moment, especially with all the critics, let's say, going against him for always not showing up against Juve. But I've got a question for you. What it is about Juve that really strikes me is that when I see Juve playing, I in some way feel that if they it's a team that doesn't have a style of play which creates goals, but rather relies heavily on incredible performance by some incredible players that they have. I don't know why, but when I see them play, I don't have that confidence that, okay, eventually they will score. But maybe that's just me. What do you guys think as well? Ricky, you first. What do you think? Is Juve's style of play like something that actually excites you or that convinces you, or is it even existent? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to unfortunately agree with you. A couple of weeks I've been hearing this comment, and unfortunately, yeah, it's true. Juve, specifically in Serie A in Italy and in national games, we are a lot relying on single, as I said before, single episodes that players like Ronaldo can resolve. Against Milan, in a way, Chiesa was phenomenal. So, and I think Pirlo, we tried to change that with Sarri, because this was Allegri's mentality. Getting straight to the point, going to the win. We tried to change that with Sarri, and it was difficult. And I think Pirlo is also trying to change that. It's a long process. And
I think, if I could just interrupt, I think Pirlo is also trying to figure out his philosophy of football himself. I mean, I'm sure he already has an idea, but at the end of the day, he's been coaching for 6 months now. You have to expect that it's going to take him some time to even figure himself out and just be like, this is what I actually want to do.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think that the philosophy Pirlo is looking for is of making the team play more than we're used to.
Well, I hope so.
You said it. He's the first experience, and so he needs time. Then we can have matches against those against, for example, Barcelona in the Champions League, where we play very well. I mean, I'll be honest with you. For me, Napoli-Juventus was like the Supercoppa match, but it ended in the other way.
Yeah,
I think that in this case, maybe we were performing better than Napoli, just because they had numerous absences. But still, in the end, it was. I imagine it would have been not a lot of a lot of goals, and in the end, it just went that way.
Yeah. Kudos to Emiliano's. Emili's about to say something, but before he does, I'll introduce him with this. Kudos to your your compatriot Lozano, who was an absolute warrior on the pitch for the whole game, and he got injured at the end and still kept on playing. Amy, what you want to say about this game?
He gave away his leg to get 3 points, basically. Now, what I wanted to say is, you saw Juve this year, I think, especially against big teams, playing a lot of counter football. Against us, that's what they did in the Coppa Italia, which worked perfectly. They did what they had to do, and they won the game. Instead, against Napoli, they always struggle to score against Juve. Even when Sarri was there, you remember the goal with I think it was Koulibaly in the 90th minute. Like they always struggle to find the first goal and then to control the game. Let's say, with the penalty in the first half, it really set the game in Napoli's favor, and Juve wasn't able to. Yes, it created a lot of chances, but it didn't really fit what they wanted to do, in my opinion. Because this year, as I said, they've been really focused on countering teams, staying back, and then pushing back up, which just couldn't work against this Napoli team, which were fully blocking the goal basically.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. What do you think this tells for the rest? Like, what message is this giving? For me personally, I don't think it changes a lot for Napoli because to me, Napoli, like, I don't think Gattuso's job is any safer. I think it just shows. I think at the end there was a really nice hug. I think it shows even more of the players are with Gattuso. I personally think his job though is not any safer, but it just confirms for me what I think about Juve's game style and why I think that personally that Juve to me is not the third biggest contender for the title. I'll tell you later who it is, but for me they kind of lost that, and yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see what happens in the future. Luca, what's up?
I think personally, when I look at Juve, games like this don't necessarily surprise me, and I think that they've only really disappointed me against some of the big teams, and that's exactly because of what we were saying about the playstyle relying heavily on individual performances. I think when you rely a lot on individual performances, you're going to struggle to have that against big teams and good opposition because they also have incredible individual players, right? If you're playing against, I don't know, Crotone, Cagliari, Sampdoria, yeah, these can be good teams, but at the end of the day, if you put Kulusevski, Dybala, Morata, Ronaldo, eventually they're going to find a way to score. So what I'm really trying to say is I think, and now I'm curious to see how Juve does in the Champions League, because, Champions League is full of top talents, incredible players, and if you rely on purely individual performances, it's not going to go well. I'd like to pass it to Ricky since I'm sure he'd like to say something about this.
Yeah, because Luca, exactly. You mentioned the draws we had against Benevento, Crotone, and I think Hellas at our own stadium. And in all of these three matches, guess who was missing? Yeah, you got it.
It was Ronaldo.
Ronaldo was missing these three matches, and we drew all of them against teams that we should have, easily won if you want to be up there. And so, this basically is perfect evidence of what we were arguing. And
I think Crotone and Benevento is also, those are two slip-ups where, Pirlo, that was his third and sixth game managing a Serie A team. So while it's disappointing, I can kind of understand it,
Yeah, but, still the fact that Ronaldo was missing and the way in which we've been relying on him a lot. And just to finish off what your point was about the Champions League, I don't want to say I'm worried, but we have to definitely change direction if you want to do well in the Champions League and against Porto, the next one, because I've noticed in the Serie A this style of play, where we rely on.
La verità è che non hai quello che cerco, ma la colpa è mia e della mia fame. Frigo, io. Se desideri di più dalla pausa pranzo, corri da Burger King e gusta i tuoi menù preferiti in tutta sicurezza. Siamo aperti fino alle 18. Burger King, a modo tuo.
Single episode and single players is especially against the big teams, against Roma, Milan, Inter, this time against Napoli. And so in the Champions League, it's a big stage. Every match it's a big game. So I definitely think we need to change for them. And I think Pirlo knows it, so we'll see.
All right, let's move on to the next game. A game which I think, I don't want to really talk about it, but it's someone's gotta. Luke, I think, will give us some further comments as well. Spezia against Milan. Spezia winning 2-0. Before we can say anything about Milan, let's talk about Spezia, guys. Incredible performance by Spezia. The way they played football. And I'll start off by saying this. I'm kind of proud. I was having this discussion the other day with someone about how Serie A has developed in a way where the smaller teams, and especially the teams which are fighting for relegation, are not there just to make the point. They don't want to get to saving themselves with the limit of the amount of points, which I think is about 40.
There's more of that Premier League teams mentality. The Premier League teams
every single small team that goes to whatever stadium, at least most of them, no matter who they're against, they are gonna try to play their style of football, and they're trying to get that W. We're not there just to get a couple points. Spezia didn't have even Nzola or Galabino, which are some of our best players. And I think last week against Sassuolo was a taste, like a little appetizer of what they can do to big teams. They're one of the most annoying teams against the big ones because they tied with they won away against Napoli. They won away against us. Sorry, they won away against Sassuolo. They won at home against us. I think they tied with, someone help me out. Another big team they tied with, was it? I don't remember. They scored 2 against Juve, I remember.
But and then we had Ronaldo. He was on the bench. He went in, and then we managed to win 4-2. But we were tying 2-2. So,
did you mention Napoli? Sorry, that they beat them.
Roma.
No, Roma. That wasn't beat.
Well, yeah. Either way, they perform well against big teams.
Yeah, they perform. Oh yeah, sorry, they tied against Atalanta. No, that's what it was. Anyway, very incredible style of play, I thought, against us. The this high pressing, quick football. Players like Agudelo really showing up. Their whole team in general just looked really, really, really solid. Like there was nothing. There was no like one standout player, but maybe a lot of them. There was a bit like at least 5, which were incredible. But at the same time, Milan just had a no day. Milan, literally, there was Carlo Pellegatti was saying that Milan, you can't give a bad grade to the Milan players because to get a grade, you need to do something. And it's a bit of a provocation, but it's true. Apart from Donnarumma, none of the players, maybe Tomori, none of the players that were on that pitch were savable. Even, the almighty God Ibrahimovic, he was not there. And this was a big shocker for AC Milan fans. Luca, what has this done to you? Like, what was it? Because I personally been feeling like shit, and especially because of another reason we'll talk about in a minute. But what do you think, Luca?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely not happy about it, but I'm trying not to read into it too much. When I analyze the game with a cool head, let's say, 3 points kind of really stand out to me. First of all, I think Spezia, kudos to them. They had a literally perfect match. I think it's one of those times where the stars align and everything just goes right. And I can't complain about that, of course, because it's our job to do better than them. But I mean, the first goal they scored, it really looked like prime Barca. That was incredible. Yeah. Even like, what was it, Ricci with the sideways pass to get across.
They grabbed the ball at half pitch, and in 3 passes they had scored.
Yeah, it was a beautiful goal. I still haven't seen a team this year in Serie A attack us that directly, just straight through the middle. He literally ended up in front of Gigio like that, and
Romagnoli was a fullback, but I think if they didn't score that way, they would have scored it any other way.
Of course.
Two goals were gonna be scored by Spezia. It doesn't matter how. I think it's a case that they were scored, one incredible one, and maybe the other one with Romagnoli passing it to them. But I think 2 goals were on the table. And Luca, tell me if you felt this way as well. Do you remember when we played against Parma and Verona? I always had the feeling in some way, seeing our team, we're gonna get this back. We're gonna come back. I was confident somewhere. Like I didn't feel, like an anxiety maybe in my neck, like in my throat. I said, you know what? Something's gonna happen, but we're gonna tie this because we're playing too well. Against these guys, I never even had the hope. For the first time in ages, I was on my phone watching a Milan game, which never happens to me.
I feel like we saw. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Amy.
I just wanted to quickly touch up on. I think we saw Milan's difficulty in playing high pressing teams. I think they struggled. You struggle against Atalanta. Of course, you were missing players, so it's a different type of game. But Spezia were pressing high up the pitch for 90 minutes straight. And you could see, I think it was Romagnoli sometimes, Tomori or Kier. They really struggled to build up the game. And so they just started booting it randomly up to Ibra and praying that something would happen. Which I don't think you can really do if you want to contend.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And then if I can, first I'll actually answer Arda in what he was saying, is that I've only felt that way, the way that you just described, 3 times this year. And that was against Spezia, that was against Atalanta, and that was actually against Genoa. Even though we tied that game, I was incredibly disappointed in that performance. And while we still dropped points, but I think during the game, I didn't really believe we were going to equalize. And the 2 goals we scored were totally flukes. Calabria scoring a goal, which he scores once every 5 years, and then Kalulu just getting lucky in the box on a corner. While it might be a bit more controversial, people might say, what about Juve? Juve actually, after the Calabria goal that tied the game, I was a bit confident, I have to say. Then, of course, we lost, but I did have some belief. Then the other 2 points I had, which were what I attribute the loss to, other than Spezia playing very well, were one, us completely underestimating them. I don't know if that's a mentality issue, whatever it is, hopefully it gets fixed, but I think we didn't step onto the field, with that killer instinct. And finally, it was that I feel we had a lot of terrible individual performances that I really didn't expect, which were Çalhanoğlu and Benasser. Then when I look back at them, I think it was just because of, both of them coming back from injury/COVID. So they were really just tired out there. And then also another absolutely dreadful performance was from Dalot, which, I don't even want to mention. It was just terrible.
I don't think he's going to be bought by Milan. And
I hope not. I mean, with Premier League prices, League prices, you have to give United minimum 20 million. Yeah. And Dalot, if we paid Teo Hernandez 20 million, I'm sure as hell not paying Dalot 20 million.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the thing that also surprised me was seeing Kessie kind of tired towards the end of the game. Because Kessie is someone who runs for 90 minutes and feels like he can run for another 90. But instead, Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying. I noticed that Kessie, I think he was tired the whole game because it looked as if we tried something new. I don't know if you noticed, but every time we had the ball trying to build up play, Kessie was playing left back, and Teo Hernandez was playing like as a left wing, with like Leao moving internally to help out Çalhanoğlu. It was very strange. I think Kessie was just there to kind of catch a breather.
I think Kessie has also recently become a father, so that could. I know it sounds like a joke, but that could actually be like an influence on him that, maybe he's not getting enough sleep or whatever. But yeah, I don't know what to expect because of for Thursday's game against Red Star. One thing's for sure, we were talking about this today at Radio Sonera, Luca and the others as well. Do you see as, everyone's so concentrated on Sunday's game against Inter, which is going to be crucial, by the way. I am absolutely bricking it for that game, but do you see the game as Thursday's game as something which could get us a bit of relief, a bit of that pressure off? Because if we get a good performance in, we can actually get the morale boost we need to then go and fight Inter on the pitch. Or do you reckon it's just another obstacle because players are going to be tired and it's going to be hard because we're going to Belgrade and playing against them? They have a very similar style of play to Spezia. What and Atalanta, like what is it about Thursday's game? What is it that you see in front of it? I personally see it as an annoying obstacle, which has the opportunity though that if we play a really good game, and I'll tell you why. But if we play a really good game and we win, we could get our morale boost back. As long as it's not a game like remember the Ludo Goretz games in the Europa League where they're too easy, where they don't even give you like anything they don't tell you anything. Those games because they're so easy to win. I think it's one of those adversaries where if it's like a really fought out game and we do come out winning, we could really get a morale boost. What do you guys think?
Well, personally, I would prefer if we didn't have that game in between. Actually, I would have liked to have the whole week just thinking about the derby, which Inter does have. And
do you not think that would have eaten us up in anxiety, like not having something to take our mind off that game?
I think that you need that anxiety though at a certain point. I mean, like if the team believes in challenging for the Scudetto, well, then you need to face that kind of challenge, right? You need to face that pressure of having a whole week where you're preparing for the most important game of the year and then going there and winning. That's if you want to win the Scudetto, right? But since that game does exist on Thursday, I know that Red Star, I read an article the other day about how they're incredibly in form right now. So I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I don't think we'll be playing with our usual starting 11.
Thank God they don't have fans.
Thank God they don't have fans. Yeah, exactly, because that's an intimidating atmosphere. And hopefully it is a confidence boost, but we'll see.
Yeah, if I can say, I agree with Ale's analysis. It's an obstacle which, I mean, in my opinion, it's better if if you had all the week to focus on the game. Having the derby after this Europa League game it's not ideal. But obviously, Arda, as you said, if the game goes well, it can be an incredible boost for the morale. I was wondering, guys. No, actually, Amy, if you want to say about this Europa League game, what you think?
I just mainly agree with all you guys. I think there's a bit of an overreaction to this loss from Milan, because still, they have been overachieving so much. They played really well against us in Coppa Italia. They played really well against us, of course, the first leg, let's say, in Serie A. So I think Milan is in the position to win the game. Of course, we're slightly favored in this moment. But I don't think a game in middle of the week changes much at all. Especially, I don't expect Milan to field their best 11.
Amy, so you know why I think people have been overreacting to the game against Spezia? I think it's because they have come to a realization that the bubble, that this overachieving bubble we had, this dream we had of actually contending for the title, could at any moment explode. I think people are delusional about not believing in it. They're like, yeah.
I think I really disagree with that. Even us, now we're first, but this whole season you've seen us go like this, like a roller coaster, up, down, up, down.
Well, you guys won 7 in a row or something.
I honestly can't remember.
Right.
But
all right.
No, I don't know.
It's It's the first time since 2010 that Inter is back first in the Girone di Ritorno. In the second part of the season. I wanted to ask something to Arda and Luca. If you think that this Spezia game was more of I'm going to say it in Italian to give the idea, a passo falso or incidente di percorso, or just what do you think?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't want to overreact.
I don't want to overreact as well.
Yeah, but for anyone who doesn't speak Italian, passo falso just means actually false step, And no, I don't want to overreact. I think it's very disappointing, and I wouldn't want to take it too lightly. So I don't want the spogliatoio, the locker room, the team to just be like, oh, well, it was a mistake. Well, it's fine. I still want them to take it pretty seriously, but at the same time, is definitely not changing my opinion about the season.
Yeah, my thing is this. It's I'm not scared of Milan doing badly. I'm more scared of how good Inter is, and because as I told you before, with Juve, I don't think is a title contender anymore. I think for me, there's only 3 teams that can realistically contend with Inter this year, and I think one of them is Atalanta. For me, one of them is Lazio, and then the other one is us. And to see us doing badly, it just scares me because I don't think there's anyone else who can, apart from those two, that can really contend with Inter. So that's why I'm scared.
So sorry, you think Atalanta and Lazio are the other 2 contenders for the title?
I think Lazio. I
don't think Lazio can be more than Juve.
I disagree with that.
We'll talk about this later as well when we talk about the Lazio. When I saw Lazio's roster and how they played until the penalty against Inter, on paper, their midfield and attack and goalkeeper is really good. If they can get their crap together and actually play well, they had 5-6 straight wins before the Inter game. They are a good team. For me, they're a good team. They're a team that could really.
Yeah, they're 10 points behind though.
They are 10 points behind for sure, but I think we're better than Juve. Honestly, serious.
If you want to talk on paper, Juve is still Juve. Of course, it's the worst Juve of the last 10 years, but it's still Juve. They have one of the best players in the world. I don't think you can count them out.
It's true. They do have Rabiot. He is.
Guys, if you want, I'll throw out my first hot take of the episode. Ooh. And I'm not just saying this to provoke. I've actually thought about it. And Amy's not going to agree with it. But I think that if Inter wins the derby, they're not going to lose a single game until the end of the season. I'm serious. I actually think so. I think if you win the derby, I think at that point you guys are just going to be, you're going to look around, you're going to say, okay, who's actually competing with us for the Scudetto? And then at that point you'll be so confident. I think you have nothing else to think about. You'll just steamroll the rest of the league. That's what I personally think. We'll see.
If we win on Sunday, I do think we'll go on a massive win streak. I don't think we'll go undefeated or anything. But
that doesn't mean you won't you still have maybe those ties against small teams that you'll consider as a loss. I don't know. I just don't think if you win the derby, that write it down. I'll write it down if you guys want.
I like it.
Yeah,
if you win the derby, you're not losing a game.
Okay, after Milan, we have Genoa, Parma, Atalanta, Torino, and then Sassuolo.
And to support your point, Luca, I heard this and I just checked. Inter this season, they scored 54 goals. That's
That's a lot of goals.
That's a lot of goals. So basically, every match they start the match 1-0 up, 2-0 up, something like that. And so, I mean,
what Inter scares me the most is that Inter, since they don't have Coppa Italia, they don't have Champions League, they don't need to think about anything else. When they're tying 2-2 at the 75th minute, Conte just looks around and he says, "Well, you know what? I'm going to sub on 7 attackers. Who the fuck cares? Who cares? Just put San, just put Eriksen. Those guys are going to score eventually, right? If Caldirola and someone else are defending, or Crotone is defending, you're going to score eventually."
Inter's defense has become so solid. I think at a certain point that was a bit of their weak point. I think it's become so solid, and that is going to make such a difference for the rest of the year. I think those three at the back are scary. We're just scary. All right, let's move on to the other teams, guys, because we are at 35 minutes. You want to say one last thing, Ricky?
Yeah, no, I was actually going to mention Roma because we were talking about these top teams, and Roma is up there. So
no one believes in Roma.
Roma is good. Like, this is the thing about Roma. I'll give it to them. They are really good. Okay, well, I'll introduce this first. But Roma won against Udinese 3-0. Incredible performance by Jordan Veretout. Man, really good goal by good old De Pedro. But then, this is the thing about Roma. Roma is really good at getting the points against the small teams. We saw that against the smaller teams they always win. But if we look at the results against the bigger teams, they don't look that good. They tied to Juve, they tied to Milan, but they lost to they tied to Inter, but they lost really badly to Napoli, lost really badly to Atalanta, and lost really badly to Lazio. Roma don't convince me as one of those big teams that could challenge. I personally think Lazio is much better than Roma. What's up, Amy?
I think they only have 4 points against the top 6 or something, like some crazy stat like that. They haven't beaten any of the top 6 teams, and I don't think you can count. Yes, they're 7 points from the top, but I don't think you can really count them as a title contender. They're a small team. They hunt for small teams, but
so basically, you guys think that when Roma will eventually face in the second part of the season teams like Lazio, Napoli,
we'll see next week. Milan's playing Roma next week.
Oh yeah,
I feel like they're going to continue with their form and beating, let's say, Crotone, Parma, Sassuolo, or whatever. They're going to beat the small teams, but they're going to lose too many points in the head-to-head to actually challenge. That's my opinion.
No, I agree with you, and I don't like teams who suck against big teams and only destroy small teams. But if they're at this stage of the season and that's what they've done, do you think that if they replicate that, they'll still be able to get top 4 because they're currently 3rd? Or do you think that teams such as Atalanta, Napoli, Lazio will pick up the pace so that Roma won't be able to do that and comfortably get top 4?
I don't think if they continue, let's say if you were to mirror their performances from the first half to the second half, I don't think they're going to get top 4 because that's already, I think they're 7 points off the top. So that's 14 points off the top, let's say. I don't think you can get a top 4, 14 points off the top, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Also, Juve still has a game in hand. Of course, it's against Napoli, but they do still have that game. Napoli still has that game. So I don't think they're top 4 material.
All right, well, let's move on then to Sampdoria Fiorentina. Fiorentina in a disappointing loss against Samp. I don't think I predicted them to win, but it was one of those games that I think easily could have gone either way beforehand. Fiorentina, I honestly don't know what's going on. They just, even the new guys, they just don't play well. I don't want to stay here and talk as always about Fiorentina, but if you guys want to give a quick comment.
I think I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think it's all in the manager. I mean, I don't want to talk
him under the bus,
Prandelli, but they need a better manager if they want to make because the players they're buying players, they're making a new training ground. So Commisso that bought Fiorentina is doing a good job, but if they want to make that step forward, they need a better manager. So
apparently they're waiting for Spalletti's contract to end with us. So it ends, I think, in June or whatever it is. So if they manage to get him, I think they could really make a push up the table.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I think we talked about it another time about the ideal managers in Serie A. I want to see Spalletti back. I want to see Allegri back, and I want to see Sarri back. I want to see a Serie A where you have like 8 teams with incredible managers, and I think that's possible, to be honest. If Pirlo steps into those shoes, if Pioli continues managing like this, then that would be great to see.
Yeah. All right, move on then to Atalanta Cagliari. Not much to say about this game as well. Atalanta fetching the win of the last second with a Muriel strike, absolutely incredible. Muriel, what a player. But still, I think it confirms 2 things this game. A, that Atalanta is getting back on form after their bad loss to Lazio, and then that Cagliari, there's something not that good at Cagliari. I just think they can't throw that ball into that bloody net. But I don't know. What you guys think?
In my second hot take, not really a hot take, but let's say statement of the episode was going to be about Muriel. I think that if Muriel were to get a lung transplant, you go into Kenya, you get the best long distance runner, chop his lungs out. No, this isn't politically incorrect. This is fine.
No, it's not.
Statistically, they're the fastest. They're the fastest long distance and runners in the world with most stamina. Right?
I'm interested.
You take their lungs, you put them into Muriel. He's winning the Ballon d'Or. The guy, he's so good. He's so good. It's just that if he plays more than 30 minutes, you have to take him out in a wheelchair. What do you guys think? I love Muriel, but he's not even an athlete. He could be so good. He just needs to run more.
Wow. Okay. After that, I think we can officially move on. All right. Crotone Sassuolo. Crotone losing 2-1 to Sassuolo with a Berardi goal, the first one, and then Adam Unas. Again, we just talked about Cagliari. Unas looks really, really good. He looked like a bit of a Messi in his goal. I know.
Madonna, Messi.
No. But the goal was that. Like, he went on his left foot, faked, went to his right. Sorry, apparently they're telling me from backstage that Caputo scored the first one.
No, Caputo scored the winner on the.
He scored the winner.
Kick.
I was right. Yeah, Berardi scored first one from outside. Anyway, no, but if you go watch Unas's goal, it was really interesting because he cut back onto his right, and the defender was like dummied away, and then he scored with his right foot. Obviously, not comparable to Messi, but at the same time, I see him as a player, and I'm like, how was Cagliari not able to find a space for him against Milan as well? He was really solid. Nothing much to say about this game. It's Sassuolo winning as they should have against Crotone. And that's basically it. I think Stroppa might be going away for Crotone. Apparently Zenga could be coming in, but yeah, I don't know. I really want Crotone to save themselves because they do have some entertaining and nice.
Unfortunately, I think Crotone will be the team that bottom of the table.
All right, then the big game of the weekend, and this will also introduce one of the topics I wanted to discuss about someone commenting on Amy's comments, but Inter against Lazio 3-1. So Inter scoring first on a penalty, with Lautaro Martinez getting a penalty off a hurt tackle, a bad tackle, which I think was obviously a penalty. Simone Inzaghi was complaining, saying, "Oh, I can't believe he gave it after 3 minutes. He should have been checking it for 20 minutes." I don't know what difference that can make if he checked it 20 times, but it was a penalty. They checked it. And so I don't know what he was trying to say out of that comment. I think it was just being salty as always. Apart from that, the second goal was a bit of a gift from Lazio, and then the third one, and then the second.
An even bigger gift.
Yeah, Lazio's goal was a fluke, an absolute fluke. Well, Milinkovic shooting into the wall, basically in Escalante, doing an Inzaghi and putting it in without even knowing it. And then the third one was an incredible goal by Lukaku, where he goes on to counter-attack and runs, keeps Parolo, who was centre-back after he coming on instead of Hood, keeps him away with his incredible strength, and then passes it to a free Lautaro Martinez who just has to slot it in. I have a question for you, Emiliano, and I think this is my analysis of the match a bit. Lazio was dominating until the penalty, and then they gifted away a penalty stupidly, but from a good interaction, like a good inter move. Then the second goal was an absolute gift. They got lucky because they scored that fluky goal. But then, if any other defender was there instead of Parolo, they would have absolutely chopped down Lukaku in some way or another. They would have tackled him at least to get a yellow.
That's a straight red. If you tackle him,
no. But I think any other, like, kind of a bit bigger, maybe like someone who knows what he's doing as a defender, like an actual center back, would have in some way dragged him down with his t-shirt and would have gotten like much further beforehand. Before he got like to the box. I think they would have found a way to get him down, get that yellow card, and still keep it in the game. But obviously, all kudos to Lukaku. Incredible game by him and Inter. But I still think, personally, yes, Inter won the game. But I think it's more of a case of Lazio really putting it, like really gifting it. Because then after they started losing badly, they changed their game style to this weird just crossing game against De Vrij, Skriniar, and Bastoni. Like, what are you going to do? And then we had Muric and Caicedo at the end, and that was kind of working, but it really showed. But I think at the start, Lazio was really more in the game, and I think they gifted away. What do you think, Amy?
This was the second time, I think, this year where we saw Conte completely outcoach another manager. The first one was against Juve, in my opinion, in the Serie A, where we won 2-0. And then this was the second game where we basically played completely the opposite of what we usually do. We usually play super high up the pitch, pass it around the back way too many times, then try to find the space here to Hakimi or Young or Perisic on the left, and try to get in from wide areas. Let's say this game instead we just shifted our defense all the way to the goal line basically, and we said, "You're not scoring today." Of course, they scored off a free kick, but that was kind of a weird episode. Let's say.
Yeah, it was lucky. It was quite lucky.
Yeah, and we just went, "You're not scoring today. There's no way you're getting into the box." Even the tackle from Skriniar in the first half was ridiculous. I think it was Immobile going or Correa going into the box, and Skriniar just said, "No, the ball is mine," and just took it. And I think, to be honest, yeah, we had 35% ball possession, but I think we deserved the win. It wasn't really in doubt. We could have scored 4 in the first half. Hakimi missed another goal. I don't think it was really that close of a game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then finally, on the Lautaro goal, the third goal, they tracked Lukaku at 34 kilometers per hour. So I don't think there's a single player except for Hakimi on the entire pitch who could have either dragged him down or done anything.
Well, but Parolo was substituted for Hurt, and I think personally, like someone even like Hurt, they were toe to toe for a long while. And then there's that specific moment where Lukaku is much smarter and Parolo, that's not his job. I don't know why I put him there. But there's that straight moment where Lukaku manages to get his arm in front. And, when someone like Lukaku has his arm in front, it's done. But the smart defender, or the furbo, the sly one, would have grabbed him before that happens, grabbed him by his shirt and done whatever he could have to get that guy down. I don't know. I just imagine that someone like Romagnoli and Kier could have easily done that. They could have.
I feel like
They could have brought him down.
Just say Lukaku did the same thing to Romagnoli derby last year, where he passed it to Vecino missed. I think when there's 40 meters from you to the goal, there's nothing you can do as a defender.
Unstoppable. Yeah, unstoppable.
I have a question for you guys, actually.
I disagree.
Would you rather slide tackle Lukaku on a breakaway or a truck on the freeway?
I don't use a car for either of these scenarios.
No shin pads, nothing. Slide tackle straight into a moving truck.
Anyway, Amy, how are you feeling after this game? What are your actual feelings? Because one of the things we were discussing as well over radio was who has the most pressure, the people who go +1 to the derby, or the people who are at -1 of the derby?
I don't think it's a matter of points. I think both teams have equal pressure because this game can do. Because if we win, we go +4, and that's already more than one game difference. If you win, you go +2. There's always a chance for a change in position, let's say. But if you go +4, and then looking at the next games we have, it might even be. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it might be what wins us the title. Let's say. So I don't know. I think both teams have equal pressure. If we win this game, it really sets up. It eases the rest of the league. Let's say.
It tees it up, as you would say in golfing terms. All right, guys. Anybody else want to say something? I've given mine about the game and what I think happened. But what do you guys think?
Luca, you want to go or? Oh, okay. No, one thing I was impressed by was actually Lukaku and Lautaro. I think they're a deadly duo. They're. Then I agree that Lazio gave away some goals. Probably they made serious mistakes that you cannot make in important games like this one. But Lukaku and Lautaro, they're so good together. They really play well. And the fact is, like the third goal with Lukaku doing half of the pitch and then just giving the ball to Lautaro, that was his let's say. His goal. He basically did the goal, but also on the penalty kick, we see I think Brozovic or Eriksson just passing a ball to Lukaku with his back to the goal. He just slides the ball to Lautaro and puts him in front of goal, all with one touch. And I think just Lukaku and Lautaro, they find themselves really really well.
They have found a partnership that really does work. I think one needs the other. Obviously, Lukaku is the most important one of the two, but I think Lautaro does kind of complete him. And we look like we are real good friends. Like that's, I think, one of the things that is most even like nice to see when you see those two strikers and you're like, yeah, these guys, you can just tell they're like good friends on and off the pitch. All right. Anybody else want to say something, or should we move on because we're at 51 minutes? All right, next game was just Verona-Parma. Parma again disappointingly losing, but Verona had a good comeback because they were 1-0 down. Di Marco, goal and assist. I don't have a lot to say about this player. Inter fans must have been
bring him back. Bring him back.
They took his goal away. He only got an assist. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But anyway, what a performance by him. I think Inter fans must be so I don't know. It's a bit like I don't think they'd be regretting it because he didn't even start for Inter. But I think with the options they had at left back for all those years, they must have thought, geez, like what a good player could have been. Imagine having him instead of
Anton. Exactly.
All right.
Over him.
All right, let's move on to the league table. Amy, do you want to talk us through quickly through what happened and the interesting things? I know the first thing you'll be happy to mention, but go ahead.
Just quickly, top two, there was a slight change in positions. We're first now, you're second, but that can change obviously.
Oh wait, Amy, you gotta answer. Sorry, I completely forgot. Jonathan Cremona was shocked by your comment last week. He says Kissy is Barella without the feet, like 14 question marks. What? Jonathan Cremona?
I think the thing is, Kessie is obviously a really good player. I'm not saying he's bad in any, he's really, really good. He's been maybe the best or top three players for Milan this season, let's say. But I don't think he has with his feet, he doesn't have the ability Barella has. You don't see Kessie doing a 40-meter pass to, I don't know, Theo or Leao or whatever. You don't see him, even Benasser. I think he's, with his feet, so much better than Kessie. Of course, Kessie can do the one-touch passes, short passes. He's really good at penalties, but I don't think that's to do with his accuracy, let's say. He's really good at playing with the keeper, let's say. So I don't think it's that. Go ahead.
Yeah, then I wanted to add, would you guys honestly imagine Kessie scoring a goal like Barella did against Fiorentina? Or the one he scored the last year against Hellas Verona at like the 90th minute, which was basically similar as the
against Parma.
That ball would end up in the kebab shop outside of San
Oh, Kessie's goal against Parma was incredible.
Yeah, against Parma.
Okay, fair enough.
Only one. No, also against Atalanta 3 years ago or something.
Kessie will have something Barella will never have.
No, Arda, move on.
An incredible haircut, you dogs. Anyway, go on and speak to us about the league standings, you dog. Sorry, I didn't mean. That was a bit mean. Go on, Amy.
In the third position, it's Roma. Somehow they're there, but yeah. Then it's
so they went up. So they went up one.
Yeah, they gained one position over Juve, who lost, of course. Then it's fourth and fifth, the two teams that have a game in hand, which is Juve with 42 points, Napoli with 40. And there's two more teams at 40 points, Atalanta and Lazio. Lazio dropping 2 positions with the loss against us, and Atalanta gaining 1 with that last-minute winner by Muriel. Then from 8th to 10th, there's no changes there. So it's Sassuolo with 34, Hellas with 33, Samp with 30. And then we have, I think, 7 teams really, really close together. So it's Genoa gaining 1 position. They have 25 points now. Then we have 4 teams with 24 points. It's Bologna gaining 1 position, Spezia gaining 3 positions, Udinese losing 1 position, 3 positions, Benevento losing 1 position, and Fiorentina losing 1 position. They have 22 points though.
Yeah, so between Fiorentina that's 16th and Genoa, that's incredible. There's only Genoa, which is 11th, is just 3 points difference. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy what's going from 1 week to the next. You can see complete changes,
jumps.
And then the bottom 4 unfortunately hasn't changed. There's those 4 teams. It's Torino 17 points, Cagliari 15, which is really, really bad, Parma 13, and then Crotone last.
All right, really quickly, from those 4 teams, is there any player that you'd steal, apart from Belotti, from those bottom 4 teams, any player you'd steal for your team, like really quickly, Amy?
Yeah, really quickly, I don't know.
Cragno,
yeah, my bad. Cragno.
Luca, who would you steal for Milan?
Singo.
What about you, Sampi?
For Juve,
Zaza.
no, probably Zirkzee that went from Bayern to Parma. He looks like an interesting young lad.
If he's good, you'll buy it. You'll buy him. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Wait, one thing I'm actually interested in, since Cagliari is in a relegation spot, I'd like to see eventually, maybe we can get it for the next episode. The last time there was a Serie A season without any teams from the Italian islands, so Sardinia or Sicily. I think it must have been a very long time. I don't know if ever, maybe, since we haven't had Sicilian teams in Serie A for...
It's basically the last time Cagliari was out of Serie A, I think. Because Catania...
But when Cagliari was out... but Palermo was there.
Oh, true, yeah. I don't know. We'll have to research that.
Irrelevant.
Let's move on to our next segment of our show. It is the team of the week. We're going to create together and have a good time creating it together, guys. Let's have some fun. All right, goalkeeper, I'm going to nominate him. Meret, it's got to be him. I think it's got to be a consensus. Let's do this quickly. Then 3 center backs. Anyone got any ideas of who to put in?
Skriniar.
Yeah. Skriniar, and I think Bastoni from Spezia should be there.
I know you want to put Di Marco, Arda.
I always like Di Marco in there. So Di Marco, Skriniar, and Bastoni. Are we putting those 3?
Yeah. Special mention for Bastoni for Godin. Even though Cagliari lost, he played very well.
Erlich as well had a really good game. He kept Ibra at bay all game. All right, man. Our center mids, I think the first one is going to be Veretout with that double with brace on the weekend. I don't think anyone has anything to say against that. Or Jordan, you get him there. Anyone else want to nominate anyone? Yeah, same. I'm really happy. All right. Anyone else want to say anything on any player?
Milinkovic, maybe. Or no, for the loss, maybe.
I'm getting the fixtures up.
Yeah. Any Inter players?
Maybe Brozo, I like to nominate.
Brozo.
I don't know if he fits the team of the week. Because we're already going to have, I think, Lukaku up top. So 3 is maybe too many.
He gets a special mention, but he's not in the team of the week.
Yeah. I'm going to say Locatelli. He got the penalty for Sassuolo to go 2-1.
I think Locatelli and Barak as well.
Yeah, Barak.
Antonino.
Luca, you see that he scored? You said it last time.
Love that man. I know.
Yeah. Antonino's there. Who else?
I don't know.
There, guys?
Maybe we have to find someone from Sampdoria, either Candreva or...
He did. I think Candreva only came in the second half.
He gave the assist to Quaglia, but
true.
I'd say Viola. For that.
Viola,
for that back heel goal. He deserves it. He needs to be there. All right, man. Up top, I think only one man can be our striker for this team of the week. It's got to be Jordan Lukaku. No, just kidding. Romelu Lukaku. And then I'd say Insigne for getting 100 goals. What you guys think?
Well,
I don't know.
I'd put him there for the milestone, but let's see who else.
Let's see who else we nominate.
He scored a penalty,
and based on that, we'll choose who to put in. But we could have Muriel. We could have
Muriel,
yeah. I think the next one could be Muriel. Maybe I don't. It's a shame we don't put anyone from Samp, but yeah, that's basically it. So our team of the week this week from a Catenaccio Podcast is going to be Meret in goal, then Skriniar, Di Marco, and Bastoni at the back. In the middle of the pitch, Viola, Locatelli, Veretout, and Barak. And up top, Insigne, Muriel, and Lukaku. This could be a pretty good team. Special mentions, as we said, to various players like, various Quagliarellas, Keita Balde, Saponara, and Agudelo had really good games. Who else, guys? We did put Muriel. Brozovic had a really good game. Barella. Unas also known as the Algerian Messi. But yeah. All right. Now we're gonna move on to our last segment, which is gonna close our episode as always. Your funder, but talk us through the predictions from last week. But before you do that, I'm gonna explain how it works. So, the rules: each week, our hosts and viewers will be invited to predict the coming week's Serie A results. Predictions will be recorded, and points will be assigned based on their accuracy. If you get the exact result, you get 3 points. If you only get the winner or the draw right, you only get 1 point. If you get nothing, you get nothing. All right, which is basically what I always get. So, Luca, talk us through our prediction results for last week.
Okay, so for Bologna Benevento, congrats to Ricky getting a perfect score, 1-1. So he gets 3 points there. Only other person to guess the result is Arda, guessing a tie. Then for Torino Genoa, I guessed a tie. Johnny did as well, and so did Amy. So we all get 1 point, while Arda and Sampi don't get any. Napoli Juve, straight to the point. No one got any points. We all predicted a Juve win. And same as Milan, of course, no one predicted a Spezia win, because otherwise we would have definitely exposed them for being time travelers. Then Roma versus Udinese, everyone guesses a Roma win except Arda, who, I don't know, was smoking something that day. No one manages to get the correct result. We then have Cagliari Atalanta, everyone guessing an Atalanta win, even though I think we all thought it was going to be more comfortable than that. But it doesn't matter for predictions, we all get 1 point. Sampdoria Fiorentina, Johnny gets perfect score, who's not here today, so congrats to him. And I also guessed Sampdoria win, while everyone else guessed the Fiorentina win, therefore was wrong. Crotone Sassuolo.
I guessed the 1-1, sorry, just to. I guessed the 1-1. I didn't think that Fiorentina would win, but sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. Then Crotone Sassuolo, Ricky gets his second perfect score of the week. Congrats. Yeah, there he is. Arda and I, what the hell did we guess? Well, we didn't guess the right thing. And then Johnny and Amy both get 1 point for guessing the Sassuolo win. Then Inter Lazio, we all guess an Inter win except Amy, who was trying to cover his ass. And but none of us guessed the exact result. And then finally with Verona Parma, everyone guesses the Verona win. So 1 point for everyone again. That means 6 points for me this week, 4 for Arda, 10 for Sampi, 5 for Amy, and 10 for Johnny as well. So obviously the winners of the week are Johnny and Sampi. That brings the standings to 84. I'm in first, Johnny second, 82. Arda, I'm going to need to see those. Thank you. Amy is in third with 66, but Ricky is hot on his tail with 65, just 1 point behind now. And then Arda is getting relegated.
Sorry,
he has 55.
Yeah, I thought we were. Sorry, guys. I'm really sorry, but I thought we were counting them like a golf score where lowest score is the winner. I'm really sorry. Sorry for the cringe as well, but I have no excuse. I am so bad. I honestly
no double digits yet either.
Yeah, I think it might be because I don't do them beforehand. I just do them by gut feeling.
I don't do them beforehand either.
Well, good on you, Luca. Good on you too, Emmy. Okay, good on all.
I've been terrible for a while.
It's Johnny and Ricky who do it, and they always end up guessing each other's predictions.
All right, so this time...
Take a screenshot.
The order... View order is gonna be this time. Luca. Actually, maybe changing the order could bring some luck. We'll do Luca, then I'll go, and then we'll go have Sampi, and then we'll
Put
go
Sampi first. Put Sampi first.
Okay, let's go Sampi. Okay, let's go Sampi. Let's go Sampi, Luca, Arda, and Amy. All right, Sampi.
I mean, if it's easier for you to go Luca, Arda, Sampi, since it's in that order.
Okay, whatever. Luca, Arda, Sampi, Amy. Whatever, guys. Let's get on. Let's get on with it. Luca, Fiorentina against Spezia. What's your prediction?
Oh, God. Couldn't pay me to watch that game.
I'll watch it.
1-1.
1-0. Okay.
No, actually, sorry. I fully endorse Serie A, and I hope that everyone watches this game.
Yeah, I was about to say Sampi. Actually, I'll go. This is the thing. I think Spezia plays really well. Do I have a courage? No, I don't think. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a 1-0 as well. I don't have the courage. Actually, I'm gonna say 2-1 to Fiorentina, guys. Sampi.
1-0.
1-0. Amy.
I feel like in classic small teams beats big team, they're gonna lose the next week. So going 2-1.
All right, you're very original.
Actually, make it 2-1. I don't see Fiore scoring 3.
Yeah. All right, Cagliari against Torino. This could be the sleep game of week. Luca, what are you saying?
Cagliari Torino. Oof. I think both of them desperately need a win, but I think Cagliari will take it at home.
Yeah.
2-1.
Yeah, Luca, you read my. Oh my days, Luca, you read my mind. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 as well. Sorry, guys, I had to change keyboard. I was on Italian keyboard. 2-1. Sampi, what are you saying?
I'm saying the opposite. 1-2.
1-2. So you're predicting a total win, Amy?
Yeah.
0-1.
0-1. Okay, so we got 2 Torino wins and 2 Cagliari wins. Lazio Sampdoria could be a really good one. Luca, what are you saying?
Lazio Sampdoria, I think it's going to be a big Lazio win. 4-1.
4-1. I'm going to go for... I want to say Lazio win, but I just feel this draw in my belly. 2-0. Sampi?
I'm going to say 2-0.
2-0 to good old Lazio. What about you, Amy?
Going 3-1.
3-1. Luca, what are you saying for Genoa Hellas?
For Genoa Hellas, I think Genoa will win at home. 1-0. Because, Hellas still has a good defense.
I think it's going to be 2-0. What about you, Sampi? What do you predict?
I think Genoa will win 2-1.
2-1. Amy?
I'm going for the draw, 1-0.
1-0. All right, Sassuolo against Bologna, Derby d'Emilia. What are you saying, Luca?
Sassuolo Bologna, 2-2.
2-0. I'm going to say 3-0 to Sassuolo. Sampi, what are you saying?
I'm going to say 2-2 also.
Amy?
I'm going 2-0 to Sassuolo.
Perfect. Luca, what are you saying for Parma Udinese?
Parma Udinese.
This could be the boring game of the weekend.
It's a tough one.
Contender.
I think Parma. What did Parma do this week? They lost against Hellas, right?
Against Hellas.
I think they're bound to get some points just because of all the new players, new owner. There's still some excitement around. I think they're gonna win, but I don't know. I'll go 2-1 again.
I'm gonna go for a 0. Actually, I'm gonna go for a 1-0 draw. What are you saying, Sampi?
Udinese win, so 0-1.
Amy?
0-0. I see.
Right, we
real
got
fun game.
Biggest game of weekend on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Luca, Milan against Inter. What are we saying, buddy?
It's hard to predict the score. The one thing I would bet my house on is I think Lukaku's going to score.
Yeah.
Just because he's still pissed probably from the Ibra thing. I don't know. I think Inter will win. I'll go 1-2.
Ooh, 1-2. I'm going to go for 1-3. I think Inter is going to smash us to bits. I don't think we're going to smash us to bits like as a performance. I think on the score. Like I think it'll be a pretty good game, but they'll just score those 3 and we won't. Sampi, what are you saying? You're most
I think it will be similar to the Lazio game. So I'm going to say 1-3 and yeah.
Amy?
I'm going 1-2.
1-2. All right, Atalanta against Napoli. This could be one of the other biggest game of the weekend. What are you saying, Luca? Remember that Napoli has basically 8 players out, so we're playing with our B team.
I think Atalanta is a team that likes to take vengeance, and I think they will take vengeance for that first game this season where they lost quite badly. So, I'm going to go for like 4-1.
4-1, wow, okay. Well, I'm going to go for a clean 3-0. Sampi? Actually, I'm going to go
2-0.
2-0, yeah, sorry. I'm going to go for 2-0 as well.
Yeah, 2-0.
2-0. Yeah. What are you saying, Amy?
I'll go with a 3-0.
Nice.
I'll take the bullet.
Oh, we don't have a lot of faith in Napoli, even after they beat Juve.
Benevento against Roma?
No, Benevento Roma. I think Roma's going to continue beating small teams 0-2.
Yeah, this is a classic Roma win.
I'm going to go for a surprise, which is basically why I don't get my stuff right. I'm going to say 2-1 to Benevento. Sampi?
1-3.
What are you saying, Amy?
0-4.
Jeez Louise. Okay. Juve against Crotone?
I think this is one of the games where you overpredict.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for like a 2-0.
Yeah.
But Crotone not even like getting into the box.
Yeah, that's what I think it's going to be. Do you remember the Cagliari game, the Juve Cagliari game? 2-0? I think it's going to be exactly that. Sampi?
No, okay.
Juve Crotone
0-16.
Obviously, I want to see a win, and I would like to see the team score a couple of goals. So I'm going to say 3-0. Good job, Arda.
I know, right?
I hope.
I'll go 2-1 just to change it up a bit. I wanted to go with 2-0, but
okay, so we got our predictions for this week, and guys, unfortunately, or fortunately for you guys, this is the end of our episode. It's been a good hour and a bit. We'll see you guys next week after the derby. Anything could happen. We're really excited to see what happens and for the episode to come. And so before we sign off, we got to thank the people from Radio Sonera for giving us a platform and to be able to be on their various channels, Spreaker, YouTube, Spreaker, and Spotify. Obviously, go and check out our own YouTube channel, where we'll be uploading our own audio bits and eventually some videos. But before we sign off, I'd like to thank the panel who have been with me through this little journey of ours. So, first of all, Ricardo San Pietro, a resident Juve fan.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Ciao.
Then we got our resident Inter fan, Amy.
I'm so nervous for Sunday. So
congrats on winning the derby.
Oh, we come back with a win.
Yeah, I hope for you guys too. Luca, if you guys don't see Luca and I next week, it's for a purely coincidental reason.
Yeah, Muriel lad, if you're listening to me, buy a treadmill. You're gonna win the Ballon d'Or.
Together, I'll train you.
No, thanks for listening, guys.
As we'd like to also say hi to Jonathan, who's an absolute coward because it's a coincidence every time Lazio loses, he's not here. And then last but not least, I've been your host for today, Aleardo Riani. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, follow us and thank you very much for all the support, and leave us some comments below to tell us what you think about our crap opinions. Okay, bye.